second here. We're ready to begin, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Call this meeting to order for January 26th, 2022. Roll call members, please.
Kai? Here. Anderson?
Here.
General?
Here.
Herder? And leaders.
Present.
We've all had a chance to read the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes or make corrections?
I approve them.
Second.
Been moved in second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same. Motion carried. So I'll read the statement.
Oh, we have to elect officers.
Okay.
Yeah. You still good with being chairman? I'll nominate you if you want to continue.
Yeah.
Unless somebody else really wants to do it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Be fine.
I nominate Jenneru as chairman.
Oh, hold on, I missed the whole thing, I'm sorry.
We'll give you a chance to
I got
catch
the
up,
wrong
Pam.
packet, I apologize.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that.
It's all right, I made a motion for Jenneru for chairman.
Okay.
Mike seconded.
And now you're.
Are you ready?
Well, we have to review the schedule
No,
and
you're ready for us
the
to take a
attendance
vote on that.
roster. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
It's
I'll
moved
give
in
him my
second.
agenda back.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same. Do we do the vice chairman too, Pam, at the same time?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody would like to?
I can do it, yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
as long as he shows up every time.
Yeah. I nominate
Lynn Leaders?
Lynn.
All right.
Yeah, Leaders.
I'll second. I guess the motion made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same. And then we do the schedule and review the attendance.
And I don't think we have to do a motion on those, I think we just.
We just acknowledge them.
Just acknowledge those and, I mean, if they look okay to you, I think they look fine, so.
I think it looks good too.
We'll continue to meet on Wednesdays, 5:30 in this location. And it's,
As needed.
is it the fourth Wednesday of the month, as needed? Try to give you, as board members, as much notification as we can that there will be an upcoming meeting.
Sounds good.
But we had pretty good attendance.
This is for trying it for a long time, but I didn't miss one.
How we all made that work, but we did.
That's not very many.
All right, I guess it says introduction of Adam or Austin K. Thanks for joining our board.
Yep.
And, I guess with that, we'll read the procedure statement for this tonight. Public hearing will be conducted pursuant to the board's rules of procedure as adopted May 26, 1988. We will first hear the report of the planning director and the detailed information on observations regarding the request, if not done so in written form prior to the hearing. Next, we will take testimony of the applicant and his or her witnesses. Upon completion of the applicant's testimony, I'll call upon members of the audience wishing to make a statement concerning the request. Persons in favor of the request shall be heard first, followed by those who oppose it. At any time during the presentation of testimony, the members of the board may interrupt to ask questions or make comments on what has been said. Upon completion of all testimony, the applicant will be allowed to make a closing statement to the board. Upon completion of the applicant's closing statement, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing on the request. After the public hearing has been closed, you'll hear the recommendations, if any, of the planning director, and upon completion of all discussion, I'll entertain a motion of the board regarding the disposition of the application. Each speaker addressing the board shall step forward to the podium and state their name and address before proceeding with the testimony or evidence. I would ask that you spell your last name. This board shall not be bound by strict rules of evidence, but does reserve the right to exclude evidence or testimony that may deem to be irrelevant, immaterial, incompetent, or unduly repetitious. As chairman, I will rule on all questions relating to admissibility of evidence, which may be overruled by the majority of the board. The board may grant continuances in case for good cause shown to any interested party who has entered his appearance. The board may at any time request a continuance of a hearing for the purpose of giving further notice, taking further evidence, gathering further information, touring the proposed site, or for other such reasons the board may find sufficient. In such case, we shall state the specific reasons for the continuance and set a date, time, and place when the matter will be continued. All official actions of this board will be made by public hearing, by motion made, seconded, and appointment of the membership. If conditions are imposed, such conditions shall be included in the motion or amended hereto. Our final decision will be prepared in writing and will be part of the public record of this board. Once this board has reached a decision on the case, that decision shall be final. Section 335.18 of the Code of Iowa states, any person or persons, jointly or severally, aggravated by any decision of the Board of Adjustment under the provisions of Chapter 335, or any taxpayer or any officer, department, board, or bureau of the county may present to the court of record a petition duly verified setting forth that such decision was illegal in whole or in part, specifying the grounds of illegality. Such petition shall be presented to the court within 30 days after the filing of the decision in the office of the board. Upon hearing that, I would ask for a motion to open the public hearing on case CU-2022-01. James and Susan Wheeler.
I make that motion. Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Public hearing is open. I would ask for the applicant to come to the podium. Or applicants.
Susan Wheeler, WHEELER, 19998 Perry Road.
James Wheeler, WHEELER, 1998 Perry Road.
Forgot a 9.
Oh, 3 9s in there, sorry.
Just move in, did you?
Yeah, 22 years ago.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. CrossFit Council Bluffs has been open for almost 5 years now, and we are so grateful to the county for allowing us to provide this service to our community. We have been able to provide a haven for residents of Council Bluffs and Pottawattamie County. Not only do they come for health and fitness benefits, but to rest their minds, sorry, I'm nervous, heal their hearts, and find a home away from home. CFCB has become a place even more special than we could have ever imagined. We are filling a need, and that is apparent in our growth. Tonight, we are hoping to be granted permission to continue to serve our community members by securing a new class schedule and hours of operation. So, that,
So I guess
yeah, I'm sorry, what else would
Tell them a
you?
little bit about your class schedule that you're.
Sure.
And
The one that we're
membership
proposing.
numbers.
Okay. And as it's included in your packet, I believe, our class schedule, we want to increase to be open from 5 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. Saturday, I gotta look and see what we said here. Oh, here it is. Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. And Sunday, 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. That would include our classes, and then in between those classes, some one-on-one training that we require for members before they can join.
This is what you're asking to change it to, not what you have now.
Right, that's what we're asking to change it to.
Proposed schedule. This one on here then is not accurate. Handwritten one, because it says only to 9:30 on Sunday, you'll only have it 8:30 and 9:30, instead of 2 p.m.
Let's see,
I think she was looking at this
what am I
one.
looking at? She's looking at this one.
Yeah.
I think when
Oh.
we spoke, you said you wanted 2 classes on Sunday.
8:30 and 9:30.
Right,
Or
8:30
maybe it
and
was
9:30.
open gym, I can't remember.
Yeah, 8:30, it's the same thing, yeah. 8:30 and 9:30 are the classes, and then open until 2 though for,
Open gym.
yeah,
For,
one-on-one training.
well, actually, open gyms would be 8:30 a.m. and 9:30, which they would have to sign up for
Yes,
to attend. And then from 10:30 to 2, we would run our one-on-ones and our on-ramps where new members can come in and we work with them one-on-one to get them prepared for a class.
as needed, which,
And that doesn't happen quite often. I mean, it's, we may have 1 or 2 per week that would do that, so. And then that, as far as our schedule goes, from 5 a.m. to 7:30, that's basically with a 5 a.m., a 6 a.m. class, which we currently have, 11 and noon, 4:30, 5:30, and 6:30 p.m. classes. And then classes would be maxed out per 18 per class. And then in between those times, we just wanted to make sure we covered the hours in between in case we had an on-ramp or a one-on-one class with a new member in between that class schedule. So just to cover us all the way through those hours. And again, that's typically one person at a time and doesn't happen on a regular basis.
You usually have 18 members.
no.
What's
No,
the usual?
on average, and we have that in there as well, we have a breakdown of class average.
It comes to basically eight people per class per day. So
On
a total of
average, yeah.
56 on average
Per day, per weekday.
per weekday, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's on this page with the little picture on the bottom.
Can you describe out for the board a little bit more in detail what the open gym entails? If somebody were to sign up for an open gym, an hour of that, what does that entail at the gym?
Yeah, I think that might be a little confusing. Open gym is really just another class time. It's just that instead of having the coach up front leading a specific workout, the members are free to work on things that that they want to.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as a class, except they have a little bit more freedom to do what they want to that day.
For individuals who may not be aware of, and maybe that'll help out the board a little bit more too, and everybody. So the gym is for CrossFit. What does your CrossFit class, if I'm coming there for a CrossFit class, what does that look like versus me going to a 24-hour fitness?
Oh, good question. So typically, CrossFit, it's all class structured in groups. We do it as a group. Coaches lead each group. And basically, it starts off with a warm-up period. Everybody does the same thing together to warm up. And then a typical workout, you could kind of picture it as almost like an aerobic class with different movements throughout the class. So we may start off with some type of weightlifting exercise, strength training for the first 15, 20 minutes. And then after that, we do what we call a Metcon. Basically is a group working out together on a specific whatever the workout is of the day. So that consists usually anywhere from 10 to upwards to 25 minutes is typically on that. And then we cut it off at whatever time we decide the workouts will go through. So, like I said, 10 to 15 or 10 to 25 minutes. Yesterday's workout was a 10-minute cap. So at 10 minutes, everybody's done working out, regardless if you finish the exercises or not. And then we get ready for the next class after that. So basically, it's a warm-up together. It's some type of strength training together, followed by actual exercising together, whatever the coach is programmed for the day. So
then your 5 a.m. class comes in, it goes through its workout. Is there overlap then between, are you done at 5:45 and everybody's out of there, and then the 6 a.m. class arrives, or how does that overlap work?
Typically, we try to be done, 5 to 10 minutes before the next class starts, to give them time to, pack up and get moving. Sometimes we run into a little bit tighter, depending on how, every class is a little different. If you have people coming in from like the one-on-one training that are newer, we may have to spend a little bit more time working with them on movements and stuff in the beginning, but typically we try to get done with 5 or 10 minutes to go. And then classes always start right on the hour, right after that. So there is people leaving as people are coming in, typically, yeah, so, yeah. And then I would say too, one thing, Mondays are always your busiest days of the week. Obviously, everybody's, taking the weekend off and trying to get back into it. And then from Monday, you'll notice the classes just typically start to dwindle down in size throughout the rest of the week. Fridays, we typically I don't think the last 4 or 5 weeks we've even had a 6:30 p.m. class, just because we don't get enough people signed up for it. And that's another thing I should probably explain. They have to go to a website to sign up for the classes. And there's only a certain amount of numbers per class. So if the classes are full, they're put on a waiting list, and then if something opens up, they can come in. But otherwise, where we cap it is as many as we can have per class. And we usually don't run into that issue. Maybe on a Monday, it might be the only day, but typically, I think this last Monday, I always coach 5:30, 6:30. I had 14 people on the 5:30, and then we had 11 on at the 6:30 class. But from there on, it'll just dwindle down a little bit throughout the rest of the week, so. And then Saturdays and Sundays, open gym, we basically, you have to sign up for open gym, just like you would a class. So again, it's capped. You can only have so many people per class. And, those, we probably get, 5, 6 people max on a weekend on open gym. So, and Wednesdays are also an open gym day for us too. So again, the numbers like today are down considerably, like than your standard class schedule. I think a lot of the people just like to have that structure when they come in and have a coach led by a coach. So that's kind of why you see that on Saturdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays. So yeah.
So basically like a Monday through Friday, everybody would be gone by 7:30, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. Especially if I'm coaching at night, I want them out of there so I can get home. So.
Tell me about your parking situation. How many vehicles do you have room for right now?
Well, we have parking behind the building, and then we have it all along the side. We have about 24 spots available for parking. A lot of our members, a lot of couples come, so it kind of helps out a lot. If we ever have any overflow, where like on a Monday, they more than welcome to park in our driveway. We have plenty of space right there. That doesn't happen too often, but every once in a while, we just want to make sure nobody's on the road, obviously. And then, but as far as that, I've kind of, over the summer, I planted 41 trees along the parking area too, to try to cut down on lights and things in the evenings, shining on. I wish I would have done it 5 years ago when we opened the gym, so they would have been fully grown by now. But trying to be proactive on that and try to cut down on that. I know as a neighbor, you don't really want a bunch of light shining in on your property, and I understand that. So trying to be proactive on that and things. And then we have adequate lighting. I've got a neighbor next door who's been really great to work with. He's always come to me if he has any concerns at all. And one of them was, he's asked a couple times on the lighting if I could adjust them a little bit. So now just for security on the parking lot, I do have lights out there, but it's all motion censored now to help keep the lights from, so he can look out at his windows and not stare at a bunch of lights.
Okay.
So trying to accommodate that.
Then the special event parking would be something I'd be pretty curious about.
Okay, that's a good question. So special event, what we've done in the past is we've filled up where our events are in our normal parking lot, but then we also have opened it up. We've got, I don't know, half acre of land between, it'd be, if you're facing the home to the right, I guess it'd be on the northwest side of it, a big lot. So we've just did some temporary parking in there with those events, so, yeah.
We've never had anybody park on the street. We don't allow it.
Yeah, so we've never allowed that. We had a family reunion this summer, and, did we have 100 people there? We had a lot of people, and we were able to accommodate all of them. Anything we've done special event-wise with the gym has always been, probably 50 to 60, somewhere in that range, as far as people. So we've always had plenty there. That's never been an issue, so.
All right,
Yeah.
in your original conditional use, I noticed that you were gonna expand square footage. Have you already expanded that square footage? Or
Yes.
that's still down the road?
No, we have. We're maxed out now, so we don't have any more room to grow on that. So, yeah. Yeah, I would imagine if we had to move on beyond that, we'd be actually looking at a place offsite down the road here, so, yeah. As far as I guess I could expand on our membership base. The max membership, it's like any gym membership, it's a kind of a revolving door. You get people that come for 4 weeks and then they're done. You don't ever see them again. So we've maxed out at one point at about 125 members. Currently, we're at 112. So, and that's where those one-on-ones come. You try to, as you lose them, you hope to get some more people in. But that's kind of where we're at right now, and that's how we get our average. We go off of our website as far as where they have to sign in for classes to get that average 8 per class. And so it's a good indicator of where we're at on a daily basis too. So.
I just want to clarify, so what do you have weekends hours now then, or what, are you guys open on the weekends now?
Currently, we're not open on Sundays, but we do cleaning on Sundays, typically, a good thorough cleaning. And then Saturdays, we have a class, open gym, 2 of those in the morning. And then we run it's 7, 8 o'clock, is that right? I can't even, yeah. We have 7, 8, and then we run a 9 a.m. Hour workout, structured class, so.
So right now on Saturdays, you're done by 10 then?
Yes, yeah.
But I thought you were open to 2.
Well, that's what we're,
Wanting to.
yeah. And then, and still, from 10 to 2, it would only be available for one-on-ones, so.
Yeah.
Whether or not we would have any, but we just want to make sure that we have that availability.
So the one-on-ones, potentially, how many could be the, have one?
Usually just
or
one.
have one couple
Yeah,
to do
yeah, it's usually.
Sometimes you have a married couple or,
Yeah.
that want to come together.
Yeah.
But normally it's just one-on-one training.
And as far as our events go, what we've done, we basically run 3 a year. And one is our Murph workout, which it's a Memorial Day workout in honor of Michael Murphy, who was who basically gave his life in Afghanistan. And a bunch of his friends had put this workout together in his honor. So once a year, every CrossFit gym across the world does this workout in his honor and to pay tribute to our armed forces. So that would be one of them that we do. When we run events too, we don't have classes those days. So it's just specific to that, per whatever that event is on that workout. And then we have the Austin Ibratowsky Memorial Workout, which, sorry.
It's in honor of Austin Ibratowsky, who's, many of you may know him, but he passed away and his family comes to our gym. So we do a memorial workout for them. And when we do that, we're not only honoring him specifically, but we've had a lot of members lose loved ones and children. I mean, they've lost kids. And so we, no, you guys can go back. We're just a mess.
This gets me, sorry.
Yeah,
So-
but we were very close to that family. So,
Yeah.
so they can find comfort, to come together and remember with all their friends, so.
And how long does that, these start in the morning, you say, how long do they usually last?
Typically, the workouts, we run different heats on those. Like on Murph, we can run it all together. But on the Austin's particular workout, we break it down into heats and we scale it so everybody can do it. A lot of family members, I guess non-members of the gym come to support it too. So they all come out. They do. We work to their abilities and have them do a workout along with it, so they can be part of it.
It would take,
So typically, it could be 3 or 4 hours. Yeah.
maybe mid-afternoon.
And then we usually do like a potluck or something, or bring in some food for everybody, and just turn it into just a joyous event to celebrate it. And then the other thing we do is the CF for CF. So we do a cystic fibrosis fundraiser every year. We have a couple of our families that come to the gym whose kids are affected by it. And it's just a way of, we can raise money for it. All proceeds go to cystic fibrosis,
Yeah, CF for
the
CF
foundation.
yeah.
And I think, boy, we've raised what, is it $17,000 in the last 3 years doing this for the foundation. So those are just things that we've been passionate about, trying to give back to the community it's nice to see everybody as a community come together and support it. So those are basically our events that we talk about.
But you're already doing all those.
We are, yeah.
But now you're asking permission to do that?
Well, yeah, I guess, when we started, we came in 5 years ago, we weren't sure, how things were gonna go and how things were gonna take off. And I guess like any business, you adapt you have to adapt to your clients or your consumer, I guess. And so we've changed a couple of the classes. We've added a couple classes each day to try to accommodate those needs. And I guess moving into it, we really never thought about, the events just started happening and we got behind them and went with it. And it's.
Yeah, so we're kind of backward.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
And we just want to make sure we approach it and get everything, I guess, in writing, I should say. I just want to solidify and get approval that we can continue with where we're currently at. So.
Nobody else has any more questions? Or if you guys want to?
Can I ask you one, how about how many people attend your special events? You said 100 people?
Well, when I put those numbers down, I think I put 30 to 100, so it's a kind of a wide range. I wish I could give you a specific one of.
Yeah.
I would say around 50.
Yeah, I'd say the 50 to 60 mark.
Yeah.
The problem, like Murph's easy, how many people, because you're all doing it together. But like the Austin's Memorial, that one, we have heats spread through the day. So you've got a lot of people coming and going. So not everybody's there at one time. So I guess I've never really put those numbers together, but yeah, so.
What do you think about your fibrosis one?
Oh, as far as numbers?
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm trying to remember how many teams we had. There were
Yeah.
teams of 2.
Teams of 2, we usually run 8 heats on it, typically, so that's,
It might have been right around 50 or 60 for that
yeah,
one,
yeah,
too.
that would be right in that
Yeah.
range too, as well,
Do you
so.
ever provide concessions during those times?
No, as
Not
far as
something
concessions,
that
we'll
you-
bring in, like, everybody will be like a potluck, and we'll just, as a community, get together, and some of the food's really good, and some's not too good, so, after doing it a couple times, you realize.
Oh, you mean good for you?
Oh, well, nothing's good for you on this. That's why you work out, so you can enjoy that, but.
So I guess, so you have, like, you have these, they're all on site at this time, or is that?
Well, no, they're not. Murph is, the workout for Murph is, you start off with a mile run, and then you come back into the gym, and it's 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and then 300 air squats. And then you go back and you run another mile. And then Austin.
Joining it?
Well, you're more than welcome.
Yes.
And then Austin, the Austin Ibratowsky Memorial Workout, that is, we do run outside, but we run to the end of the drive and then back, so we're not on the road. And then the CF for CF is just in the gym itself. I've kind of been working on the timber a little bit and trying to get a trail cut in, and it's been taking me like 4 years, but I'm almost done. So it would give us a mile run, so we could stay off the road and just stay on the property and do it that way. So, in fact, that's kind of what our goal is to have done by May, so we can do that, so.
Do you have to put people out there or, on the road during that time that mile run?
Do we have people out?
I mean, do you have, or some kind of traffic guides to help people not get hurt, or,
No, we're just real cautious that they stay to the left and be, that's one thing we preach before the workout starts, is just to maintain your shoulder distance, and then yell out for cars for others and things like that.
But we have to say, we're not running off, we don't want to be
Yeah,
on the road.
we've made it a decision that we're gonna
It's
leave
not gonna
it.
be on the road
It
anymore.
won't, yeah, so.
No.
You guys have any more questions? You guys are finished?
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, I would ask for anyone who wants to speak in favor to come forward. All right, at this time, I'd ask for anyone who wants to speak against, please come forward. The podium, and state your last name.
Good evening, I'm Joe Thornton from Smith Peterson Law Firm, and I'm here on behalf of Jackie Barwicki and Kim Tays, JACKI BOROWIAK, and Kim TAYS. It's 19715 Perry Road. They aren't able to come here. Jackie's elderly and Kim is out of town. I think they've submitted written
Yeah.
reports, and I assume you all have those written reports. So I'm not going to read those to you or repeat those things or anything else. I just want to hit a couple of what I think are important points related to this issue. The folks are here for a conditional use permit. So that means there's conditions that are put on those things. Well, you've already heard from them tonight where they've already said, well, even though we had a conditional use permit that had conditions on it, we haven't been following those conditions in the past. They've had outdoor activities. They admit that they've had outdoor activities. It's kind of like, and it's a wonderful thing that they're doing. All those events that they talk about, the causes are really good causes. So who can criticize that? Except in the context of, they had a conditional use permit and it specifically said no outdoor activities. Yet they went ahead and did the outdoor activities. They talked about different smaller class sizes, but yet till they revised their website, they were having more classes than they said they were going to have under their first conditional use permit. Memberships were supposed to be around 80 and now it's 125. They weren't supposed to have any classes on Sundays, then they had classes on Sundays, now they aren't having classes on Sunday. So you have to ask yourself, why do you want to increase their ability to do more things when they didn't do what they were supposed to do the first time around? Where's the creep go now? Next time it's going to be even more. And so they're already exceeding what you already gave them permission for. So they've set the precedent that, well, let's just do it and then ask for forgiveness later. And that's not the way conditional use permits are supposed to work. And that's your responsibility to make sure you enforce those conditional use permits. So also, I think that there's not been real clear traffic studies on how much business itself has impacted Perry Road. And now we're talking about clearly increasing the traffic. And so before you really agree to do a conditional use permit for these folks to increase what they're already doing more than what they said they were going to do last time, I would behoove you to do a clear, good traffic study. So then you could really evaluate what impact this business already has had on Perry Road and do some type of legitimate projection of what impact it's going to have on Perry Road going forward. You asked the question about people running along the road. You know, that's already clearly a safety hazard, and if they're going to increase more people, more events, that's only going to compound that problem. And then on a relatively minor matter, as I understand it, they had permission to do powder coating, but they've also been doing sandblasting out there. So have all those things really been truly investigated, vetted out, had a clear understanding, as opposed to just, well, they do a lot of nice things, so let's just go ahead and they'll go through the formal procedures, but let's go ahead and just approve it and move forward. We would submit to you, because of the points that were raised in the letters that have been submitted to you already, the points that I'm making here today, that you should either deny the permit or table the permit and gather and get more information to make sure you have full and complete and accurate information about what really has gone on in the past, what impact it's really going to have on that road and the neighborhood and the surrounding people that live in that area. And we would respectfully ask that you do that as part of making your decision in this case. That's my comments I would like to make to you. Any questions that you have? Thank you for your time. I'm sorry.
Who's your last name?
Thornton, T as in Tom, H-O-R-N.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
I'm going to ask really, do we happen to have anybody on the phone line tonight that would like to speak?
I think Kim had intended to call in, but she was not physically able to do so.
Okay, because I heard her on there for a minute, but then.
No, I called to make sure it was working.
Oh, you called.
I was testing it.
Oh, okay.
Here's me. Sorry.
At least she admits it.
So I would like an opportunity, I know that we gave you the written oppositions and the written supports that came along, really on both sides of the issue. And I had Pam sit down with me today so that we could really go through the written oppositions and address the main concerns that we have happening throughout these. And I know each of you have had an opportunity to read these through. And the first letter came from Jacqueline Borwick, and she's the actual property owner at 19715 Perry Road. She's lived there for 50 years, she's 86 years old. Her concerns center around the additional volume and speed of the traffic on Perry Road. She's fearful for the safety of the young children live next door and those who ride their bike back and forth each day. She states in there she's seen firsthand the impacts of the CrossFit gym over the last 5 years in the neighborhood. Many mornings she sits on the porch with her dog and sees the vehicles coming back and forth. At the end of her letter was where it kind of gets into the non-compliance with the original permit that was established there. And then the monitoring of the gym and to ensure compliance with the new permit and how that happens. That part of it, I do feel, and we've discussed before in our office, we have always operated off of a complaint basis. And so the Wheelers were operating for a number of years. And then when the complaint came in, that was when we went back to the Wheelers and found where they were at, and then requested they come back in to either adjust their conditional use permit or revert back to where they were, prompting us being here tonight. The second letter comes from Kimberly Tays, that is Jackie Borwick's daughter. She lives with her mom part-time. And in her letter, again, the concerns was the amount of traffic that was generating on the road. And Kimberly does a really good job of going through and discussing around the ordinances, which Kim and I have had several good conversations on the county ordinances and the traffic on the road, and to her view as what she views as a nuisance, and taking away from her enjoyment of the property while she's there at her mom. And she does give her breakdown of what she feels like would be the traffic generated on the road in 1 year, and that's with the gym operating at full capacity, meaning 15 people attended every single class that was ever able to be offered out there. You'd be looking at 60,000 vehicle trips per year. And under the new proposal, of course, then that would increase that as well. The traffic study, so I had Pam reach out to the Iowa DOT, our county roads department, to try to get accurate data on a traffic study for us on there. The most recent data we have is from 2016, which is an average of 320 vehicles. And when they do the traffic counts, they do a north and south count. So they put traffic counters down at the southern end of Perry Road, and they also put them on the northern end of Perry Road, because there are people that will turn out of their driveways and go up the north route rather than come down through the south, and they try to catch all of that. Normally, traffic studies are done every 4 years, and due to COVID-19, apparently they didn't come back out in 2020 and do them, but the roads department is, what I would imagine, going to try to play catch up on that and do new traffic counts, and that goes across the entire county. And then it kind of comes down to a cumulative impact with the Wheelers having 2 different permits on their property as well for conditional uses, one being the powder coating business and then the other being with the gym that they have there. The third letter that was submitted to us comes from Stanley Binney. He is Kimberly Tays' husband. His concerns too were on the traffic being generated by the activity of it. And although in the non-compliance issue, he does state in there, he does state that he would be satisfied if the gym was operated in according to approval of the original conditional use permit and operated as that. And then we did get notice from Connie Osler. She lives at 19998 Perry Road, and they were not actually within our 500-foot zoning or our 500-foot notification of the property, but they did write in on it. And that part was, again, the amount of traffic that is being generated on the road. And again, they would support that the original conditional use permit being 5 classes per day and closed on Sundays with limited outdoor activity. Now, with that, on that, the Wheelers did submit their own written letters of support that comes from numerous people within the community and a part of their gym about the positives that go along with it. But I wanted to make sure that the written opposition was put in there just due to, with the number of conversations I've had with Ms. Tays, that you were all very aware of those portions that go to it.
And what type of road is it? It's not gravel, it's hard top?
Bituminous.
We call it an official bituminous road. It's a seal-coated road. It's oil-coated. The Board of Supervisors adopted it into the official bituminous roads, which is a resolution process that the Board of Supervisors has, putting it their word on that it will always stay a bituminous road. It won't ever get downgraded back to a gravel road. That had always been the fear in the past when people would want to do activities like this on a seal-coated road, was that with the scrape of a grader, it goes back to a gravel road. So the official bituminous roads that are adopted in are the ones that are stating there is no possibility of them being turned back into a gravel road. It will always stay a seal-coated road.
At what point does do the rules say like, oh, there's 1,000 cars a day now instead of 320, we can't have that? Or is there a number? Is there?
Through the county engineer's office, there is that's what the traffic counts give to them, is obviously where to invest the funds at for roads. And so when the traffic counts get to that certain point, then that's when they look at, they gotta upgrade a road. It could be a possible alignment of a road or an addition or a new road added to try to divert traffic away. Because when you look at a road like Perry Road, I would never see it being a road in its current state that would wind up being a concrete curb and gutter road. And because of the alignment of it, you come up and you have two sharp S curves that kind of come back around. So it would always be looked at as a secondary road versus a kind of a trunk.
But when you look at these conditional use things, is there a point where you say that's going to cause too much traffic for this road?
I don't know that we've hit one yet.
Because it says this is allowed.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point is it not allowed? If that's a thing. It seems like the biggest complaint is traffic, so is there a point when it's too much traffic and?
Well, and it's in the conversations that we had, not only with John, but Kimberly and everybody as well, it's at that growth point of Council Bluffs to where even I utilize Perry Road as a cut through to get up to my house up by Crescent, depending upon which part of Council Bluffs I want to get to. And
Oh, it was paved, yes.
there are more houses going in those areas. We've allowed more houses on seal-coated roads. There's more houses getting constructed along 205th Street that come down and utilize Perry Road. There's a large section of ground on the corner of 205th and Honeysuckle that connect right over to Perry that I imagine we're going to see a large number of new homes go in. And so it is that transitional growth point to where we have infrastructure in place, and will it be able to handle that growth as it happens? But right now I couldn't put a number on. This would be the point at which, we have a gravel road out there right now that has 1,200 vehicle trips on it per day. And it's the most widely used gravel road, and it's Lime Kiln Road. Most people probably haven't even heard of it.
Terrible.
Yeah, and it's still a gravel road. They've gone to court over it just to keep the quarry trucks from driving one way or another on it. But
How close are the houses to the road, most generally?
On Perry Road?
On Perry Road?
when you get further north of the Wheelers, and you take that first bend in there, you have a set of houses that are really close to the road, probably less than 50 feet to the road. Everything, when you go from south of Perry Road, a portion of Perry Road is city limits of Council Bluffs, and then it changes, I don't know, maybe 100 yards up the road is where city limits kind of cuts off at. And that's where you see the houses really kind of spread back. One side of Perry Road, south of them is basically into a bank, and there's some houses that sit right there on the bank. And then they just kind of keep getting further back as you go and have that nice acreage feel to it. But it will be an area, it's an area for the city of Council Bluffs that annexation really isn't on the table because there's no good way to service them with anything further than where they're gone to on it. And so it will probably always remain within the county. And so that, what they have out there is kind of what, it's already developed out until you come around the second S curve and go a little bit further out. Perry Road's built out for probably 80% of the road. But further north of that, you will see more homes get put in. You will see more traffic happening on it.
What's the setback gonna be probably for those new homes?
It's 75 feet.
75 will be up.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the opposition property located, 19715? Is that the property directly across?
South.
Yeah, it's south.
It's not the
Further
one
south on
directly
the opposite
across.
side.
No, it's quite a ways south around the corner.
Okay.
You want me to turn this on?
Can we? Do you know how?
No.
I've got my question answered.
Okay.
If that,
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Well, they can have a.
Oh, wait, that's right.
No, that's right, they get a chance to.
You
Okay,
guys
sorry.
like to make a closing statement, or you don't have to if you don't want to, just you have an option.
No, I'm good. Are you
Okay.
I think we're good. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you,
Okay, so I'll make my motion to close public hearing.
So moved in second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Public hearing is now closed. I guess that's for staff's recommendation, or?
I'm sorry, I want to make sure I get to the right recommendation.
Or one of you can give him his packet.
Does this have the other recommendation in
It
it?
has the old case in it and the current
Okay.
proposal.
So based on the information included in the staff report, the preliminary recommendation of the planning department is to approve the application subject to the following conditions. The area and the subject structure dedicated to the commercial activity of the building shall be limited to that which was submitted in the application. The applicant shall,
I think so, yeah.
I think the first one is the newest one. Very
I
back.
wasn't getting there. Here it is, I got the right one.
Okay.
So based on the information and the preliminary recommendation of the planning department, is really twofold. And the first part of it is to deny the annual special events and then to approve the additional classes and open gym onboarding sessions, subject to the following conditions. Number one, to minimize the vehicular headlights shining onto the neighboring property. Patrons must park with the lights towards the building, or a 6-foot outside obscuring fence must be erected. All activities must remain on the property. The applicants shall annually provide a membership and class count to the planning department. The gym hours shall be 5 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. The class schedule shall be limited to 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m., 4:30 p.m., 5:30 p.m., 6:30 p.m. with a maximum of 18 members per class. There shall only be One class at 9 a.m. with a maximum of 18 members on Saturday. Open gyms shall be limited to Saturday 7 a.m., 8 a.m., Sunday at 8:30 a.m., 9:30 a.m. with a maximum of 18 members. Any necessary onboarding sessions shall be conducted during the approved gym hours, and membership shall be limited to 125 people. It's based on the following findings of fact. Commercial activity is listed as a permitted conditional use in the R2 district, which conforms with the land use policy plan. The subject property is located in an area primarily utilized for agricultural and residential purposes. The conditional use is not foreseen to have any negative impact on the area properties. The existing road system is adequate to accommodate this commercial activity. The aforementioned conditions will minimize any potential adverse impact on the adjoining properties. Thank you for that.
My question, okay, so the staff recommendation is to basically approve what they've asked for, but not the special events, is that correct?
Correct. After looking at the potential of what we have going on for the special events, I felt like it was really an event that I could probably, each of those special events were something that I could work with the Wheelers to try to potentially connect them with West Fair, that had a place that you could bring the traffic in, they could park there, they could be able to do all their activities that they wanted to do off of a county road system. And then, even the potlucks and portions like that, and then be able to get out of the property without potentially bringing in 50 to 60 cars all in one shot to one property and then back out through there. We've seen events like this in the past to where they start out with 50 and then they quickly jump to 150, 250. Next thing you know, you have a 500 person event happening right there because they are so popular and in demand. They're a big pull from Omaha and all the surrounding communities to do those kind of competitive deals.
My question is then, so if we didn't allow that, if we approved this, didn't allow them to do the special events, would they be able to come in for a one-time special event, like when they wanted to do those and limit it to a certain number? I mean, I know like,
Temporary assemblage of, what's it called?
yeah, cause like I
Temporary
know,
assemblages of large.
what is it?
Large
The
assemblages.
Orchard, they do like their balloon festival thing, and I don't think they're allowed to do that without coming in for a special permit, is that correct?
Yeah,
And their porta potties. I mean, it's one,
they come in and when they do the orchard deal, they come in and they have a conditional use that allows for temporary assemblage of large amounts of people. But every year he has to come in and submit his attendance records along with a permit for porta pots to be installed specific to that event.
he's supposed to do dust control because that's a gravel
Right,
road.
that's a different
Mhm.
road situation, so I get that, but, I mean, I don't know, I guess my opinion is, I think their special events are a big part of what they do. And I don't think it's that much more traffic, because they don't do their regular classes on those days, so, and that's just my opinion, it's not gonna make that much of a difference. But if they could come in and ask for, it'd just be more work for them actually to come in and ask for 3 times a year to do a special permit, so, I don't know. And I get where you're coming from, because I know some of these things, they just blow out of proportion, but I don't think they've got the room there to do that for one.
I tend to agree with you as well in that aspect, and a couple things that I think are really important is, number one, keeping everybody on the property. It sounds like parking is not on the road, that's important to me, and running, if that stays on the property, that's another piece that's important to me. So I mean, with those two factors, in addition to hearing that 30 to 100 number range sounded like it was probably weighted towards a heavier end of what they really see for attendance. I mean, I think those 3 things are important piece of information.
They had parking for 18, is that right? And then another lot or something, I mean.
24, they have 24 spots of gravel that they can comfortably fill on their gravel lot that does an L shape around their building. And then they have a grass area on what would be the northern side of their property that for the events, they can park into that, which is a lot like West Fair. They have a section of that gravel and then,
So with that, I'd make a motion to approve, with the staff recommendation, but go ahead and allow them to, do their 3 events that they asked for.
I'll second.
Can I just say about the running, St. Albert takes their 10-year-olds on the highway.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
to
they're
me,
on
it's
a-
like, if people are out running on the highway, they're, I mean,
The
I don't care if
10-year-olds.
they're at an event, or if they're doing it on their own, or,
What?
It's not safe.
No.
I mean, you're taking your life in your own hands, so, I mean, the government can't protect everybody in every situation, so. That's the way I feel about it, but, I mean, I ride my bike on the road, I run on the road, I do all that stuff, and I know when I go out there, it's not safe, so. Gotta watch out for myself.
So on the special events, do you have any conditions you would like to, you would add to those, or just?
Did they have a number? I would say,
one of them I would request that you add to it is about the portable toilet permit, that they obtain a portable toilet permit each event.
do they not have enough toilets to handle that?
They would not have so we have a breakdown chart, right? That shows if you have an event of a certain amount of people with alcohol, and then if you have an event with a certain amount of people with no alcohol,
Right.
and it goes on, it gives it a really good breakdown. So it's like number of hours of the event, number of people in attendance, and basically it draws you up and says, okay, you need to have this many restroom facilities available. They can then say, well, we have 2 in the building, and you count those 2, and they may only need 4. So then you just have to, we know then that you have 4 toilets on site.
I would be okay to add that to the motion, but if we approve this, then your department would provide them with that information so they know at what point they need to come in and do that, or?
Correct, we can supply them with that application so that they can do the breakdown and
Okay,
say,
so they would know, we're gonna have 50 people, we're fine with 50 people. We don't need to get a porta potty, but if we're gonna have 100 people, then we're gonna have to get this many.
right, so, and it does help us in like 2 different ways. It helps us kind of track, okay, well, they had 50 people at this event and that's what went on. And then they might come in next year and then like with the balloons, and he submits the attendance number. He plans for porta pots for up to 1,200 people, but he comes back and he submits attendance numbers, and maybe it's just Lyle and he's really honest with us or whatever. He's like, well, I had 1,500 people show up, so I gotta get a couple more porta pots this next year.
And I'm fine with that, because, yeah, I mean, if it would grow to something where there's, 500, 1,000 people, then obviously that's a whole different situation. I don't see that happening there. I mean, but I guess
So
for safety's
with that
sake.
said, then do you want to say the special event, if the special events grow beyond, I don't know, 75 people?
I just say 100. If it exceeds
I mean,
100,
I'm just, if you want to
then
try
they'd
to.
have to.
I would think they would need a porta potty before if they had 100 people.
No, I'm just saying, say the events grows and it
At that
eventually
point,
becomes
they would have
500
to
people.
ask for a special use permit above that. Does that sound fair?
They're saying that they're gonna have to have porta potties anyway. That's a given, that's what you're adding to it, right?
Right.
And if they get over 100 people, then they need to come back and make a special request, is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
for a special event.
That isn't what I was going for. I was going for, would you say, if they get to 500 people, I'm not saying they will, but if they get to 150 people, or say, this is all you can have at this special event.
If your
I mean, it
maximum
kind
event
of-
across 100 people, you need to move the event.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
That's what I was trying to say.
A maximum number.
A
I mean,
maximum
because, in my opinion, then there's no reason
We don't have
to.
parking for 100 people. So.
number. No, that's what I was saying.
No, but that's the situations that you run into, and the next thing you know,
Yeah,
you're like, we have a firing range up on another road, and
yeah.
you got, for a mile stretch, you got cars on each side of the road when the event's going out there that they're not supposed to be having, and
Then I think 100 that'd be the number of.
Part of your conditional use though is that they stay on their property, correct?
All
Yeah.
the cars should be on their property.
So I mean,
Yeah, so, I mean, they're not gonna have parking for that many anyway, so.
I thought you were saying they needed to come ask permission for the special event
If it was over 100 people or something.
because staff recommended not to allow them.
No, I wanted to put those were in the motion. I said, go ahead and put those in the motion so that they're allowed to have those 3 events.
Without anything
With-
special
without
other than the
anything-
porta
Without
potties.
anything special, but I will add that they have to do the
Secure a porta potty
secure
permit.
porta potties for the number of, so that way your department has a little bit of control over that part of it.
So do you want to restate that for us, Lynn, just the, you got it down, then we'll get a motion and second, we're ready to go.
So to approve what they've asked for, or excuse me, approve what was recommended by the department, by Matt's department, but additionally allow them to have their 3 annual events. And then I don't know the wording for the porta potties.
By obtaining a porta pot permit from the planning department.
There you go.
I will second that.
Got a second? Got moved in second. And ask for a roll call vote.
Leaders,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes,
Kai,
Yes.
Herder,
Yeah.
Turner.
No. It's been, your applicant has been approved with conditions.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the final vote.
4 yes, 1 no.
Well, I would ask if, Matt, is there any other business for tonight?
No other business for tonight, Mr. Chair.
All right. And I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
make that motion.
Second.
If we move in second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same, being adjourned.